What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Green Room. I'm your host, Chris, and today we're going to be stepping into a conversation that's going to sit in the right at the center of our generation's identity. And you're asking what that is? Well, it's the generational identity crisis, which is validation addiction. Now, listen, before you check out and decide that that's not for you, just listen to this one statement. If your mood changes based on likes, views, comments, or someone leaving you undelivered for 8 hours, you might be dealing with this more than you think. This episode is a natural follow up to the one that we did earlier, talking about taking that mask off. And because it's one thing to drop the mask, it's another thing to realize that we put that mask on in the first place because we got addicted to being seen in a certain way. Now, today we're going to be asking the real question. Are we living for ourselves or are we performing for an audience? First, we're going to talk about the dopamine effect and the dopamine loop that they don't talk about. The most dangerous addiction isn't always substance. Sometimes it's a little red notification bubble. Social media is literally engineered to give you a small hit of dopamine, those micro highs that makes your brain go, do it again. The like button that we have now, the share button, the scene indicator. Now there's even a dislike button. They're not features, they are behavior shaping tools. This generation has grown up with feedback loops on blast. You post a picture and you wait for the rush, whether it's likes, comments, or dislikes. You post a story, you immediately check who has viewed it. You drop a take, hopefully people say it's real or facts. You say something honest, then wonder if you overshared. To be honest, it's quite tiring, it's exhausting, but more importantly, it's rewiring identity. You start to think, if people didn't applaud, maybe the take wasn't good, some said. If nobody's validating it, maybe that wasn't a valid point. If they don't approve of me, maybe I don't approve of me. And those statements right there, that's what shift from internal affirmation to external dependence. This is what creates that addiction. Now, the audience we never asked for. Let me ask you something. When did life become a performance? When do we start moving like we're the main character, but the script is being written by everyone else? We always have an audience. If you think about it, there's always an audience on Instagram, TikTok, Threads now, Snapchat, even the people watching our recently added playlist on Spotify. Everybody has an opinion on how we should be living our lives. And if we're not careful, you come to find out that you start shaping yourself to please what those people who don't even know what your middle name is. And here's even the crazier part about this. Half those people you're performing for aren't even paying attention. They're probably also too busy performing for their imaginary audience. This generation, our generation, is full of people who feel watched, but the truth is, most people aren't watching you. They're watching themselves. So why are we tirelessly and exhausting ourselves trying to make the standard of ghost audiences? Now, let's talk about this identity confusion that nobody wants to admit. So, look, this is the part where we're about to get real. This is the part where you need to hunker in and keep on watching and not keep on scrolling or exit out the screen. When you chase approvals long enough, you forget who you are when nobody's clapping. And that's the most terrifying question. Because a lot of us haven't been alone with ourselves long enough to know that answer. We post the realest versions of ourselves, but it's still curated. We show vulnerability, but only the aesthetic kind. We talk about mental health, but only if it looks good on a graphic. And I'm not judging. This is what we've all learned to do, including myself. But the problem is this: you can't build a solid identity on shifting opinions. I'm going to say that again. You cannot build a solid identity on shifting opinions. If your self-worth depends on external validation, you're always one algorithm change away from a breakdown. And this is why so many people feel empty, even with K followers. This is why people feel unheard, even when their content does numbers. So why people in relationships still feel alone? Because applause cannot replace identities. Affirmations from humans doesn't replace the internal truth that is there. It's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to abandon your moral compass just to fit in. We're living in a world where disagreement feels like disrespect, where every debate turns into a cancellation attempt, where being honest gets you labeled, attacked, or unfollowed. But if your morals, your values, and your convictions change every time the crowd shifts, then the crowd is technically your God. I'm going to say that again. If the crowd determines your value, you're not living. You're just following. And you should be able to say, I hear you, I respect you, but I don't agree with you. And you still can love that person. You still can be compassionate, and you still can hold the same space. You can still have that stand for what you believe in. You still can stand for basic human rights. Disagreeing does not require you to dehumanize anyone. And on the other side of that, agreeing with everything doesn't make you a good person. It just makes you lost. Choosing yourself means choosing your morals, your boundaries, and your integrity, even when it's unpopular. And this is why you, me, all of us need to start choosing yourself again. This is the healing part, y'all. If you realize you've been living for the audience more than yourself, you're not alone. Here's the great thing about that: you're not stuck. Here's what choosing yourself again looks like. 1, get quiet enough to hear your own voice. Not the For You page, not the trending sound, not the opinion of people you don't know or who doesn't even know your voice. 2, you need to redefine what enough means. And I'm not saying this to say find out what that number is on likes. I'm not saying you need to find out what's enough validation. I'm not even saying to find what's enough attention on that post or story. We need to just be able to say, I am enough because I exist. And that should be the only thing enough to get you there. Number 3, detach your worth from your output. You are more than your job. You are more than the content you produce, your relationship status, your aesthetics, your productivity, your body image. You are a whole human being. Remember that. You are enough. Number 4, practice honest living. Now, notice I did not say perfect living. I did not say performative authenticity. I said practice honest living. Just honesty. That's something that you owe yourself and those who you care about the most. And don't do it because you think that's what they want to hear. Do it because you know it's right. You know it's true. Most importantly, you know it's coming from you. Build a life that feels good offline where there is no cameras. Your offline life is the real measurement. That's where your peace lives. That's where your identity can grow and should grow and will grow. More importantly, that's where the healing happens. Family, green room guest, those who are just not tuning in, our generation is starving for real conversation, real identity, and real purpose. Social media gave us a stage, But somewhere along that line, we forgot we're allowed to walk off stage and just be. Remember when I first started all of this, I used to say the green room is where you are in there to prepare yourself for that stage that we call life. Now stop auditioning for people who are never supposed to be your judges. Choose you again, choose truth again, and choose peace again. Hey, thank you for stepping into the green room today. And do me this one favor, please. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. But until next time, as I always say, stay real, stay grounded, and stay growing. Peace.